name is Fernanda Lerbat, and I'm an enablement manager with AWS. And I'm here with Jazz Singh, who is a senior manager with the partner training team. And we want to talk to you today about how we can empower our seller community and share a little bit of best practice and tools that you can use in your organization. So the agenda for today is around the customer value and opportunity. We also want to cover a little bit of the co-sell motion and how you can develop the co-sell skills within your organization. And then I'll pass it over to Jazz, who will go over the training, the partner training portfolio, and go over a few use cases and customer testimonials, just to help you understand the opportunity that we have. Awesome, so let's look at the current opportunity. So let's think about the customer value. Over the past decade, the customers have shifted to the cloud, looking to increase their time, their efficiency, accelerate time to market, reduce costs, and also learn how to use data better to take better decisions. But despite all those benefits, 89% of those workloads are still not in the cloud. So we have a huge opportunity, and we cannot do this alone. A Canalys study shows that a partner is part of the procurement life cycle of every customer, being a trusted advisor into IT infrastructure management and to billing management. So we need you. And another data point I want to share is around line of business. So line of business budget is increasing at 35% faster than the IT budget. And 85% of the C-suite managing those line of business, they're planning to use that budget into technology to help them solve their business problems. So the opportunity, again, is huge, and we cannot do this alone. We need your sellers working with AWS sellers to help us solve those customers' problems. And we call this motion co-sell. So what is co-sell? It's exactly like that. When a seller from AWS works with a partner on an opportunity to an end customer. But that requires us to understand process together, sales stages, that standardization of language, what does a entry point of a sales stage and an exit point of that specific sales stage should be used. We need to maintain our data hygiene in our pipeline so we can better understand what are the potentials and what are the deals that are being managed across this co-sell motion. And you, of course, need skills. Like I said, the majority of the opportunity sits today with a line of business. So we're not just selling services. We're selling solutions for problems that our customers have. So how do we do that? First, we need to make sure we educate the sellers on what is co-selling. So this is a basic framework that I want you to think about when you go back to your company and think about how can I develop this co-sell process across my organization. Think about, is co-sell part of your new hire training? Is your sales reps being hired? Are they get trained on AWS co-sell? And do they understand the language? Do they understand the toolings that they need to use? Do they have the correct level of access to that tool? So you probably use the AWS Partner Central portal, and there are different user roles and different permissions that you need in order to submit opportunity and manage pipeline. So the sellers that join your organization, they need to have the correct level of access to be able to go sell with AWS. Once they have all the toolkit in place, you need to enable them. You need to have them shadow senior reps in your organization that have had that opportunity, that understand the engagement. We need them the opportunity to have hands-on. So be trained, access the tool, show them how to submit opportunity, how to understand what a qualification stage is, how do you see who is the AWS seller that this opportunity is aligned to, and they understand how to navigate of that. And you also need to engage. You need to make sure Co-sell is part of the, the mentality of the organization. You need to make sure there's alignment across the different organizations. The sales team, the training team, the HR, everyone is aligned on the need. Also, have some KPIs in your business reviews that are constantly looking at, that you can understand how long is your data in your pipeline taken from prospecting to launching. That type of inspection, it's important for you to understand why and how we can make this successful. So, and again, the opportunity is huge. Customers need partners, and customers are always expecting that partners have the right skills and knowledge in place to help them through this journey. So I'll pass it over to Jazz. We'll walk you through what's available around tooling and trainings that you can take to your organization and help empower your sellers. Thank you.
Thanks, Fernanda. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I must apologize. I've lost my voice. I got told by one of my teammates that I actually sound quite sinister, so I'm sorry about that. This is not my normal voice. So we understand that getting skilled on AWS is not a linear journey. Everyone has a different starting point, and everyone has a different exit point. But what we want to focus on is understanding what skills do you need, what is your skills gap to help you better address customer outcomes. And everything works backwards from that. What are the outcomes that I'm trying to address for my customer? So in my session, I'm going to take you through what some of these offerings are, what 2025 looks like, and give you some use cases as well of how people are engaging with AWS training and certification, and in particular, partner training. So you may be familiar with some of our instructor-led training offerings. You may have even attended some of them, but we want to focus on some of the digital offerings that we have available and some of the newer offerings that are coming out as well. The first thing that I'd ask that everyone in this session and anyone who watches this session do is please create a free AWS Skill Builder training account. There are thousands of different artifacts that are available that you can use now for free to understand how to get started on AWS. You can search by domain, you can search by industry, you can search by workload. There are a number of things that are available today. Skill Builder does have a number of different offerings. There is a free tier, there is an individual subscription, and then there is a team subscription. Based on where you are, based on where your organization wants to get to, there might be some value in either the free, the individual, or the team subscription. When you do sign up for this, for AWS Skill Builder, you'll see that there are a number of role-based AWS partner learning plans. These are recommended trainings that we suggest that you take based on what your role is, or based on the role that you want to get into, to understand what best practices look like. When you do sign up and play around the platform, you'll see that there are a number of different gamified learning experiences that we offer. These are AWS Cloud Quest, AWS Jam, and AWS Simula. We want you to be able to learn the way that you want and when you want to as well. We understand, in particular, salespeople and delivery resources are very busy. They don't always have time for 1 day or 3 day training. So we want you to take this bite-sized training when you can at the right time for you. So there are two particular offerings that I want to point out. One of them is the AWS Partner Certification Readiness Training. This is training that we run in an instructor-led format through a virtual offering where we will help guide you through the process of getting certified on AWS. This is by the different certification tiers where we'll go through what are some of the best practices, how do you learn, how do you approach the exam, and some sample questions as well. And one of our key offerings is AWS PartnerCast, which is on-demand training, either live or a replay, which is in a webinar format, either 60 or 90 minutes based on a particular topic. And this can be any topic across the AWS ecosystem. So when you create your Skill Builder account, please sign up, look through PartnerCast, see what's already available. And if there's something that you feel like is missing, reach out to us either through a Contact Us link, or reach out to a Partner Enablement Manager, Partner Development Manager, or come see us at the booth and tell us, this is a particular topic that I'd like to see. So what's new for the partner seller community? What we've heard commonly from our partners, from you guys, is that we have a lot of training for our technical resources, but you want more training for the partner sellers. So what does conversation number 1 look like with a new customer? What does conversation 2 look like? How do I get them to a proof of concept? How do I get my first win on AWS? So this is what we really want to focus on developing. So we have trainings that are specific to business and sales roles. So these are the account managers, these are the demand generation reps in your organizations who are talking to customers about how to position the value of AWS Cloud plus the value of your organization as well. We've also launched a new foundational certification called the AWS Certified AI Practitioner. So this is a foundational level certification that is designed for everyone, sales, pre-sales, technical resources, to get you grounded and have a foundational level understanding of how to position AI offerings on AWS. Then we offer a number of different scale programs as well, 2 of which I've already talked about, the Partner Certification Readiness and AWS Partnercast. And the third one are called AWS Spotlight Days. These are, again, webinar formats based on a particular topic, whether it's a domain or an industry or a workload, that are run by our SMEs that have a follow-the-sun model that run across all time zones, where we dive deep into one of those particular topics and teach you from our perspective about how do you position that with your customers. So this is our 2025 roadmap, and I've touched on some of this already. The first one is that we're looking at the essentials levels of foundational courses. When we look at all of the different domains, the industries, the workloads, we know that you don't need a level 300 for all of your resources. So again, what is conversation number 1? How do I position this? How do I talk about AWS to my customers? That's what the essentials levels are. Then we dive into the intermediate level for the business and sales people. So these are not only just for your technical resources, but these are for your pre-sales teams, and these are for your delivery teams as well. But more importantly, we've heard the feedback from all of you as learners that we don't have time to attend training all the time. Our delivery resources can't be out of the field for a long period of time. So we have a number of micro-learnings between 5 and 20 minutes. So when all of you sign up for your Skill Builder account, if you don't already have one, you'll see that there are thousands of digital artifacts that exist today that you can launch and you can dive into. And use that as your entry point. If you need to dive deeper, please reach out to us. So I want to give you 2 partner success stories. So the first one is a national system integrator based out of India. They came to us and said, hey, we've just employed a large cohort of graduates. They've got the requisite IT knowledge, but do they really have the skills? How do I make sure that when we put them in front of a customer that they know exactly what to say, and that they're not going to, that we're going to minimize the risk that we have by putting them in front of a customer? So we trained 23 of their graduates across a 12-week program covering first a digital learning plan, where we said these are the recommended trainings that we say that you should take. And then they received mentoring from the AWS sales teams. And these covered 3 key areas. The first one was soft skill development of their mentees. And this is more around how do you talk, how do you position, what's conversation number 1, what's the value proposition of AWS, and what's your own value proposition, so building those layers. The second one is that they shadowed and reverse shadowed on calls. We want to make sure that we help you minimize that risk component when you're addressing those customer outcomes. And the third one is that we shared key win wires and best practices. So this was a very specific program that we launched. Now, this may not be for everyone, but this is something that we want to co-invest with all of you. So if it's something that your organization wants to look at, please reach out to us. So with this program, we jointly generated 126 net new opportunities with an ARR of $62.6 million. And we were actually able to launch 23 of these opportunities for $1.2 million of ARR. In this scenario, it was more about a partner reaching out to us to say, take us on the journey with you. We want to learn AWS sales best practices, and we're willing to invest the time if you'll invest the resources as well. So one of the quotes that we received from one of our partners was that to achieve greater scale for our employees' training needs, we utilize AWS Skill Builder. It helps us deliver more content to more learners with minimal administrative support. The digital self-paced training offered in AWS Skill Builder gives our employees what they need when they need it to beef up their toolboxes and skills to meet our customer needs. We're in a fast-paced industry that demands the integration of learning and product delivery, so these just-in-time specific learning opportunities are threaded through and augment our larger curriculum. So this is one of the key takeaways that I want to leave with you, that we want your learners, your employees to learn at their pace when it's relevant for them. And AWS Skill Builder is the right starting point for them to do that. So as a call to action, please go and open that Skill Builder account and reach out to us if you need any support. Access the business and the sales learning plans. Look at the technical learning plans for your technical teams. If you're looking at taking a certification, then and you don't know where to start, look at the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner or dive straight into the AWS Certified AI Practitioner and explore some of those sales programs, PartnerCast, Spotlight Days. These are free resources available to you as partners today. And more importantly, if you need any help, come reach out to us. We'll be here for any questions, or we'll be at the booth, the APN booth over here, or the training and certification booth, which is down that way in that direction. But thank you all for coming. Appreciate the time. Hope you learned something. And if you need anything, please reach out.